So I thought I'd do a room tour slash like manga collection tour, and also like my figures. But I needed to move everything off my bookshelf anyway because if you can see, the shelves are bowing, and normally when that happens, I just flip them over, because these shelves aren't that old, so I don't really need to replace the whole thing. So I thought before that, and before I rearrange them on the shelves, I would do kind of like a little collection tour. So on this first top shelf, I have, let me move these out of the way. I have the Spring 2021 issue 16 of Shonen Jump, and it is the one. I got it mainly because Midoriya was on the cover, but also because the chapter that was inside. I think the chapter for MHA that's in here is when he leaves UA to start like doing his vigilante stuff. And the chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen that was in it, I also didn't mind getting, so I was like, I'll just get the issue. I think the JJK chapter is the one where Yuta comes back to go after Yuji. And then the next one is, I can never remember if it's Jump Giga or Giga Jump, but it's like a special quarterly magazine that comes out, and this was the spring one for 2021, and it has Todoroki on the front, and it came with a clear file, which is right here. One side is Yuta, one side is Yuji. But then the other main reason that I got this was because it came with a special edition cover for what volume 30 of MHA that has Toya and Shoto on it. So I did end up getting the Japanese volume of 30 just so I could put the special cover on it. And then I have the 6 light novels for MHA. I don't think I've read volume 6 yet. I have a lot of light novels on my TBR list. I just haven't gotten around to that one. Then I have the Ultra Analysis, my 2 favorite volumes of Vigilantes, which goes into Obero's backstory. And then I have all of the English volumes up to date for MHA, plus the Japanese edition of volume 30. And then further over here, I have 86. This one is a light novel. I try to keep my light novels separate. I do have another little bookshelf that I have other manga and most of my light novels, if not all of them. The exception being MHA, which I have on the top over on the other shelf. And then 86 is my favorite light novel, like, of all time. I actually started watching the anime when it came out, fell in love with it, couldn't wait for the second core, so I bought up all the light novels and started rereading it from volume 1. I still haven't read volume 12. I know volume 13 is out in Japan, and I know that Yen Press, or Yenon, just licensed the Alter volume for English release. I wasn't sure if they were going to do that, so I did get the Alter Japanese version when it came out. But yeah, Alter has been licensed in English now. And then I have an acrylic stand of Theo because he's my favorite character. And then on this next shelf, I have in the back 1 through 17? 1 through 17 of Requiem of the Rose King, and 1 through 20 of Tegami Bachi, which goes over into the next shelf for 2 volumes. And in the front, and my bookshelves are so deep that I do double stack, and I just use pop figures, because I don't have a lot of them. I have like maybe 8, and they're all BTS ones. I don't really like to display them because I don't have anywhere to display them. I used to put them in my windowsill, and and then I realized that the sun was like bleaching the back of the box. So the backs of the boxes are like very muted now because the sun was just directly hitting them. So now I just use them as like stands for my books, and then also tissue boxes. But anyways, up in the front I have my Pandora Heart singles, all 24 of them. And I do have Mochi Jun's debut work, Crimson Shell, and then I have a French version of volume 16 of Pandora Hearts. If I can't find a volume in English, I will typically get it in French if it's available, and if not, then I'll just get the original Japanese volumes, because I took like 7 years of French, so I can read it perfectly fine, and I can't read Japanese at all, so but yeah, I have a couple French volumes, and then I have the 3 Pandora Hearts light novels for Caucus Race. Then I have Mochi Jun's current work, Case Study of Vanitas, on the next shelf. I do have this special edition volume 10 in Japanese because it came with a little extra booklet. I believe it has like concept art or something in it. I haven't looked at it in a while. And then I do have volume 11 pre-ordered for Japanese as well, because it also, again, comes with a special booklet. And then I have some Kokoa Fujiwara works. So these are new edition, not like super new, I think they came out in 2014, 2015, but these are newer edition covers to match the color scheme and layout of Inuboku SS, which is currently her only work in English. But this was her debut work. You can see there, Watashi no Okami-san. So the covers are all newer. And then her first serialized work, I believe, Dear, which was originally 12 singles, but when they made the new covers, they put it into 6 omnibus books. And then all 11 volumes of Inuboku SS. And then her 3 volumes of, I believe it's the Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant used to be arch enemies or arch nemesis. I can't remember the title in Japanese. I'm not good with long Japanese titles. It's like Katsute Shoujo no Akuma something. But this one is actually getting an anime in July, as well as it has been licensed in English. I think it's coming out in August, and it's going to be a 3-in-1 omnibus for like $30. So I'm actually very excited about that. I was reading this as it was coming out, and then Kokoa Fujiwara sadly did pass away in 2015, so I believe volume 3 was released posthumously, as she was unable to finish the work, which makes me wonder how they're going to end the anime, because the series didn't have a definite end, but we will see. And in the back here, I have D. Grayman, all the way up to the latest volume. Let me move these. The latest volume, volume 28, I believe. Focus. And then I have volume 1 of the Yakuza's Bias. I don't think I'm going to keep collecting this one. I just thought it was kind of funny and cute because I also collect K-pop stuff. So it was just really funny. And I have 1 through 3 of The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife, another cute little story. I have, next to those is Jump SQ, or SQ Rise. What issue is it? The Winter 2023 edition. It has Lavi on it from D. Grayman. That is why I got it. He is my favorite character. I believe the first one that came out had Alan on it, and then the next one had Conda, and then Lavi. I'm not sure if there's one with Lena Lee on it. I haven't been paying attention to that, or if one is going to come out, because this is a quarterly magazine, so it only comes out 4 times a year. I'm not sure if that edition has come out or if it was even going to, but I think that would be cool if we could get the whole quartet. Moving on to the next shelf, I have 1 through 14 of Carnival. These are omnibus versions. That's all that was released in English. It's originally single volumes. Next to that, I have all 10 volumes of Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage, plus the Volume 0. Volume 10, I actually haven't been able to find in English, so I got it in French. It's been on hiatus, or I guess indefinite hiatus, I'm not actually sure. But it's been on hiatus for a while. I'm not sure if it's going to come back. But because of that, almost the whole series, but especially Volume 10, have been out of stock. Maybe out of print, I'm not sure. And then in the front here, I have 1 through 29 of Bokura no Kiseki, one of my other favorite series that doesn't have an English release, doesn't have a French release, so I did end up getting the Japanese volumes, and I've actually been keeping up with it. I've just been getting the new volumes as they come out. I think Volume 30 just went up for pre-order not too long ago on Amazon Japan. It didn't have a date when I last looked, but it had a price up, so I just kind of put it in my cart. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. And then over here, and going into the next shelf, I have Yona of the Dawn, 1 through 40. Over here, I have some of my webtoons. I have Who Made Me a Princess, volumes 1 through 5, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, 1 through 2. Still waiting on any news regarding the novel version for Orv. Because I know when the webtoon was licensed, they also licensed the novel. But we haven't really heard anything on the novel's release. And then in the back, I have my Tokyo Ghoul box set. And then next to it, I have my Tokyo Ghoul singles. Those ones I didn't use risers for, because they're just taller, because they're signature volumes, so they're taller than the average regular volume. On to the next shelf, I have in the back my Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle omnibus volumes. There's 10 of those. I think it was originally singles, or well, I know it was singles, but it was originally like 28 volumes or something. So I think these are 3-in-1s. And then the 3 epilogue volumes, not really epilogue, but like just the next arc. Kind of like how Cardcaptor Sakura got the Clear Card arc, Tsubasa got the World Chronicle. There's only 3 of those. I wish they would continue it. And then I have all volumes of Seven Ghost. This was another one where the anime split off. I did like the anime, but it like split off from the manga right before stuff got good. And then in the front, I have all of the English volumes for Black Butler, up to 32, as well as Yana Toboso's debut work, Rust Blaster. And then this one goes into the next shelf, but it's actually, so this one is Laughing Under the Clouds, which is in English by Tokyo Pop. And then this one is, so in Japanese, Laughing Under the Clouds is Donten ni Waro. This one is Utakata ni Waro, and it is a prequel. I think it's set, I want to say like 900 years before the main series. It's either 500 or 900, I'm not exactly sure. And then this series, this 1 through 14 right here, is Rengoku ni Waro, and this is set 300 years before the main series. I do know that, because this ended not too long ago. I think it ended like last year. And then these 3 volumes are the epilogue, or I believe it's called Gaiden, for the main series. This has an anime, and this has a movie series of just 3 movies, 1 movie per book. But I tried to keep it in order, even though the main series is the only one that's available in English. This is the reading order. So Utakata ni Waro, Rengoku ni Waro, Donten ni Waro, and then Donten ni Waro Gaiden. And then I have Moriarty the Patriot. Volume 15 actually just arrived today. And then in the back, I have some volumes of Haikyuu. I used to have more, but I did sell them. I was trying to collect all 45, and I just kind of gave up. I do love the series. I love volleyball. That's why I got into it. But I just couldn't justify collecting all 45 volumes. It takes up a lot of space. Yona, as 40 volumes, takes up a lot of space. So I just couldn't do it. I didn't have a whole lot. I think I only had maybe 7 more volumes plus these. But I ended up selling those. I only kept like the last 5. It's like the last 2 games plus the time skip stuff. And then I also have this Haikyuu character guide, I believe. It's got some art in it. I'm not sure if this is stuff that's in the art book, but this is like manga size. And then next to Haikyuu, I have Land of the Lustrous. And next to that, I have Shiki, which is also only available in Japanese. This one's interesting because the manga is based off of the novel in Japan, and the anime is adapted from the manga. So I would love to read the novel someday to see if there's any differences that weren't translated into the manga, or like that didn't make it in. But I haven't found it anywhere. I don't think the novel is available in English either. And then next to Shiki, I have all of the available volumes of I Hear the Sunspot. And I think 4 Seasons Volume 2 comes out later this year. And then on to the next shelves. These are like skinny shelves. I just kind of needed more room. I was running out of room. And I had some extra shelves, so I just kind of popped them in there. So there's more behind these. But I tried to keep them the same series. So like there's only D and Angel volumes behind D and Angel and so on. But I do have all 13 volumes of D and Angel, which is what's available in English. I know the series is finished. It took a while. It went on several hiatuses. I think in Japan it goes up to 16 that you can buy physically, and then for some weird reason it transitioned to a digital release only, and so the last couple volumes, like the last 4 volumes or something, you can only buy digitally, even in Japan. It's very weird. I hope someday it gets relicensed in English. Maybe we would have the same problem where we would only be able to get up to 16 physically and then have to get the last 4 digitally. I'm not sure. But I do know that Sugisaki released like omnibus versions with new art for the anniversary of the series, either last year or the year before, I'm not sure, because I had them in my cart for Amazon Japan because they're very pretty. Next to that, I have another webtoon called A Stepmother's Märchen. And then I have Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, all the volumes. Again, it's there's more behind it. On this one, I have 1 through 5 of Devils in Realist. I do want to collect them all, but this is another one that's hard to find. A lot of the volumes are out of stock, but I've been keeping an eye on it. But there's only 15, so only 10 more to go. And then next to that, I have Villains Are Destined to Die, 1 through 6, another webtoon. The novel is also really good. I recommend reading both. Right here, I have that Haikyuu art book thing again. Then I have the first omnibus version, or the first omnibus volume of Innocent, as well as the first volume of Reincarnated into a Game as the Hero's Friend. That's a funny one that I started reading, and I was really happy that it got licensed as well. And then down here, I have, this is the last shelf, I have my JoJo volumes, and I keep them down here because I don't have a lot of hardback manga, but all the JoJo ones are hardback, and they're very heavy, and at the beginning of the video I showed you how the shelves were bowing. I didn't want to put all these heavy hardback ones up top where they would bow the shelves, so I like to keep these ones on the bottom. But I do have Rohan at the Louvre, and then I have the 2 volumes of Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan, and then I have volumes 1 through 3 of Part 1, 1 through 4 of Part 2, 1 through 10 of Part 3, and then going into the next shelf, I have 1 through 9 of Part 4, and I do have 1 through 9 of Part 5 as well, but I have 2 more of these. So I have 1 through 9 of Part 5, and then I have Volume 1 of Part 6, as well as Part 2, or Volume 2 and 3 as well. And then I also have Volume 1 and 2 of Midnight Children, which is another work by Shinichi Sakamoto, who did Innocent. So that's all for these shelves. Moving on to this other small shelf I have. On top, I have the Pandora Hearts box set, as well as the 15th anniversary Pandora Hearts artwork with the main cast, and an Elliot acrylic stand, also for the 15th anniversary. And then this shelf, this small bookshelf, is the one that has my light novels on it, as well as some other manga that just wouldn't fit on my other bookshelves. So up front I have volumes 1 through 4 of the light novel 7th Time Loop, which I believe the anime just finished. And then I have volumes 1 through 26 of Noragami. I do believe volume 27 comes out this year. I have 1 through 2 of the light novel Agents of the Four Seasons. And then this light novel series, I've never read it. I don't really know anything about it. It has a wiki page that you could read the synopsis for, which I've read. It's just been a while, so I can't really remember. But it's called Bokyaku no Roland. And the reason that I got it is because Mochi-jun, or Jun Mochizuki, the author of Pandora Hearts and the case study of Vanitas, she did the artwork for it. So I was really just trying to collect anything that she had a hand in, because I do adore her artwork a lot. So there's 7 volumes of this. And then in the back, I have volumes, well, they're all volume 1s, but volume 1 of Heaven Official's Blessing, The Scum Villain Self-Saving System, and The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I do plan on getting the rest of those. I've just had different priorities. I have read all of this and all of this before the sites were taken down when they got officially licensed. But I do want to collect all of them. And then I have volumes 1 through 19 of Amatsuki. This is another manga that's not available in English or French. It does have an anime if you're interested in it. But other than that, it's only got 19 volumes. I do believe this author's current ongoing work, I think it's Haigakura or something, it's getting an anime soon, I believe. It's either TBA or it might be coming out in July. I'm not positive. And then next to that, I have 1 through 6 of Roku no Yusha. This series, I think the author passed away. I'm not positive. I can't really remember. But because of that, the light novels never finished. This is another one that is also out of print, very hard to find. It took me a long time to find volume 6. I had all of these, and I just never got volume 6, and by the time I got around to thinking, hey, I should probably finish this series and read that, it was very difficult to find this. And then next to Roka, I have all 6 volumes of Unnamed Memory. This is another light novel that is getting an anime soon. This one actually comes out this spring season, I believe. It's coming out very soon. It does have an epilogue series. I think they're on volume 3 of that. It's Unnamed Memory After the End, but that hasn't been licensed yet, and I'm not sure if it will, but I really hope it does. And then on top of that, I have the Final Fantasy VII light novel, On the Way to a Smile. And under that, I have Sword Art Online Volume 7, which covers the Mother's Rosary arc. And I only have this one volume because Yuki is my favorite character in SAO. Short as her time was, she really left an impact on me as a watcher, and I just really liked her character. Moving down to the bottom, I have a couple issues of, it's like this yen press magazine, kind of like Shonen Jump, I guess. But I got them for like a really good deal at my local half-price books. They were only $1 each, and I wasn't going to get them, but I ended up picking them up because all of them have at least one chapter of Pandora Hearts in them. Some of them have Black Butler. There's a couple Fullmetal Alchemist chapters in there, and some other Yen Press titles. And then next to that, I have my few American comics. I used to have a whole lot more, and I did sell a ton of my collection. I haven't been keeping up with them, and I wanted to use the money for other stuff, so I did end up selling a lot of my comics to my local half-price books. But I have some Teen Titans, Nightwing Rebirth, Young Justice. I also love that they brought back Superboy's 90s look. I love that. Some OG Spider-Man. This is the only volume, or issue, I guess, of Heroes in Crisis that I have, because I hate what they did to Wally's character. It was horrible. They always treat Wally like crap. Red Hood Rebirth and Nightwing New Order. And then all of these are my art books. So I do have this art book from Shiro Miwa. They did they're the author of Dog's Bullet and Carnage. They also did the manga adaptation of Ruby when it first got licensed in Japan and was being dubbed over there. They did a manga adaptation for it. And this is Katakata Kemuri's second art book. She is the author of Laughing Under the Clouds. This is actually one of the main characters from the prequel series, Rengoku ni Waru. This is Okuni. She also did Mars Red recently, too. I think that was only 3 volumes. I did have volume 1 and 2 of that at one point, and I ended up selling it back to my local half-price books. And then I have 1 through 3 of the Black Butler art books. Volume 4 is up for pre-order. Both Tokyo Ghoul art books. This one isn't an art book, but I did put it over here because it's kind of thick. This was it's just a magazine, I believe, but it does have concept art, like early concept art for the case study of Vanitas, and this is Vanitas on the front. So I did end up getting that. I have both Pandora Hearts art books. I have Koko Fujiwara's art book, which was released posthumously, because I believe there's a letter in there for condolences. The D. Grayman art book, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Material Ultimania, Final Fantasy 15, just recently, The Art of Final Fantasy 16, Evangelion illustrations, JoJo 6251, and the Japanese edition of JoJo A Go-Go. I do know that, I guess that Viz is licensing all of the art books, so hopefully we'll get JoJo Velier, or whatever the third art book is called, I can't remember. But I did get this a while ago, and I will be getting the English version as well. There's a lot of stand information that Araki did that I can't read because it's in Japanese. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I guess we'll do figures next. So up here on top of this detolf, I have my Advent Children Cloud figure, or Play Arts figure, on Fenrir. This figure is actually too big to fit in my detolf case. Even diagonally like this, it would not go in. Like, the front wheel was sticking out. I couldn't close the door. So he goes on top, and because of that, he is a little dusty. I do have to brush him off. And then in here, this first shelf has most of my posable figures, so my Figmas and my SAS figures. So in the back, I have Gold Experience Requiem, next to Gold Experience, Hierophant Green, Kakyoin, Mista in the back, and then Diego. I do eventually want to get Diego's blue version and Silver Bullet, but these figures are kind of pricey, so maybe. And then I have Yuki's Figma from SAO, a little Choso figurine, 2 Spider-Gwens, and a Spider-Man Miles Morales version. I have a posable Eva Unit 1. I can't remember the brand. I know it's not a Figma. I would have to look at the box, but I can't remember. And then I have a Giorno SAS and a Giorno Black version SAS. I have a Jean Figma from Fate, and Twilight Princess, Link, and Zelda Figmas. This next shelf has a Mari figure in the back and a Shinji figure. I believe that's the Radio Eva version. I did have the Kaworu Radio Eva version 2 pre-ordered, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I did have to cancel that pre-order. And it was from Ami, so I know they're particular about cancellations, so I hope they don't ban my account for that. It's only like the second time I've had to cancel a pre-order. And then in front of that, I have a Megumi Artifacts J figure and a Megumi Figma. He wouldn't fit on the top shelf, so he had to go down here. I have 2 Ruby figures and a Deku figure. The next shelf has my BTS Lego set, and in the back I have my BTS Tiny 10 Taehyung Android, or V. This bottom shelf has all of my Nendroids on it. So in the back, I have Toya and Megumi and Shoto, Mista, Giorno, Lavi, and Kakuin, Momo, Lena, Noe, and Vanitas, Yuki, Sakura, and Shaoran from Tsubasa, and Hina Ichigo, and then Breath of the Wild, Link and Zelda. This one has a BB-8 cup from Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland or Disney World. I have a Kanata and Nayuta acrylic stand and an inmate stand, both from Paradox Live. I have a Grogu figure. Going on to the first shelf, these are most of my PlayArts Kai figures. So in the back, I have Crisis Core Reunion Zack, I have Dirge of Cerberus Vincent, Remake Aerith, Crisis Core Reunion Zack First Class Edition, and some pins I got at Comic-Con last year. The next shelf has Remake Cloud. I know his sword looks wonky. I was trying to pose him with it like tilting up. I think I put the wrong hands on him, but I would have to check. I don't want to keep fiddling with it because I'm afraid I'm gonna break the pins in his hands, and those figures aren't cheap. The next shelf has my one lonely Reagan Life. This one is Theo's from 86. And then my bottom shelf for this cabinet has my Gundams. I have my favorite Gundam way in the back, Gundam Exia from 00, and then Gundam Wing, another little Gundam Exia in that front corner, and then these 3 from Witch of Mercury, Lifrith, Ariel, and Caliburn. Over here, going over to my headboard, I have a couple signed albums from Our Last Night, and my BT21 headbands for concerts. I have a Tamaki figure. He's a little dusty too. And then over here, I have all of my BTS albums. I do have all their Korean ones, except for their solo albums, because I'm just not made of money. And then I have a couple of their Japanese albums in here. Other than that, I have these couple art prints on the wall up here, and some over there as well. Up above here, I have both of BTS's Time magazine articles in floating frames, and this really gorgeous Crisis Core art print. And then down here I have my video games and some BTS DVDs on my TV stand. They do go all the way back here. I have all of their concert DVDs except for like the last 2 that were released. I think anything beyond the Sozu muster I do not have, including that muster. I I was just not able to keep up. And then in here I have some more DVDs, mostly their memories. So on this shelf outside of the hallway, I have mostly my Percy Jackson collection and the rest of my BTS stuff. So starting up top, I have this little LED thing that I put a quote on from the Disney Plus show. These are some sticky note tabs that I got at Barnes & Noble. So these are magnets, and I didn't read it when I bought it. I thought they were pins. I was like, oh, that's so cute, I can put them on my bag. They're magnets. I have the new Lightning Thief Deluxe Edition, as well as some of the camp necklaces that I made. I think this one is Annabeth's, Percy's, and I made one for... Oh, no, this one is Percy's. Okay, so this one's Percy's, Annabeth's, and then I did make one for Nico. Actually, I don't know which one's Percy's, which one's Nico's. But yeah. Then my Percy Jackson collection starts with the Kane Chronicles, Magnus Chase, Trials of Apollo, the graphic novels, which I'm missing The Lost Hero and The Son of Neptune. I think House of Hades comes out this year, and the Kane Chronicles graphic novels as well. I have the 2009 deluxe edition of The Lightning Thief, Chalice of the God, Sun and the Star. I have this box set. I have the original paperback set, Heroes of Olympus, and then the like extra little novel things, character guides. Down here, I have, these are my two photo album sets. One of them is specifically for album photo cards, and the other has like mini posters, concert photo cards from like their summer packages and whatnot. I have the Wings concept book, the Map of the Soul concept book. It's hard to see, but I do have the notes 1 and 2 for HYYH. I have their Beyond the Story novel. I have various magazines that they've been in. Their Times magazines, like I showed before, are in frames. I do have some photos of them. They're mostly Taehyung, excuse my bias. I have this Game Informer for Rebirth. I had to get, because it's got Sephiroth on the front. And I do have the Insomnia Cookies packages for Rebirth. The only one that I was not able to get was the one with Cloud, Sephiroth, and Zack on the front, and I'm very sad because I could have had all of them, and I wasn't able to get that one. And then I have the Season's Greetings 2022 winter package. Down here are their summer packages, the Learn with Tiny Tan, TXT's very first Season's Greetings, because I just like the concept, some memberships, and some other Season's Greetings, some hand fans. So that's it for this one. So here I have my anime collection. I did start it in alphabetical before, I just kind of had it in whatever order. So movies and series. I still need Book of the Atlantic to go with Black Butler. Trying to get Lelouch of the Resurrection, but that is sold out everywhere, and you can only get it on Amazon secondhand for like $90, and that's not happening. Have all of the Evangelion ones. Guilty Crown, Gundam 00 is my favorite Gundam. Still trying to get the rest of those on Blu-ray. All of JoJo's. Part 1 of Stone Ocean. All of My Hero. Still waiting for them to put out Season 6, Part 2.